here I am. I'm the marketing director. I have an opportunity to visit with all of you about what Definiti creates for you. Obviously, we've got the Definiti Retirement Academy. That's one thing that we do, but we have quite a few other resources that are available, and just kind of wanted to visit with you about what we create on a regular basis and give you some opportunities to find some pieces. In addition, we've also talked about resources throughout the week, and I wanted to kind of go through those. So let's begin, and I'll show you what Definiti creates for you. So let's go to the next slide, please. Great, thank you. The first thing that we produce on a regular basis is insights. That's what we call a monthly publication. We generate something specific about the retirement plan industry. Maybe there's a specific plan design that we think might be a good idea to consider, or perhaps we're wanting to make sure that you understand all the ins and outs of eligibility. So each month we produce a monthly insights article. It's published to the website and then also emailed to anyone who wants it. And you might see there's a little QR code. I'm getting very technical here. If you're not currently getting an insights from Definiti on a regular basis once a month, and you'd like to, you can simply open up your mobile phone to the camera and take a picture of that subscribe QR code, and that will send you to a form where you can enter your name and email address, and then you'll be added to our mailing list. So that's just one way where you can get additional resources to either share with those on your team who are helping you administer the plan, or maybe get an idea about other services that Definiti provides that maybe you weren't aware of, that we can help you streamline your daily efforts. And there are a couple here. I did want to, at the end of this presentation, I'm going to shift over and share with you on screen where you can find these resources on the Definiti website. But Insights is the first thing. So we do that once a month, and then we email that to all of our plan sponsors and contacts. If we have you listed as a plan sponsor and we have contacts that are also on your plan, then they'll be included in that email. But again, if you wanted to subscribe, you could do that today. I'll have another opportunity for you if you want to in just a minute. Let's go to the next slide. Now, here's the other thing that we produce once a quarter. And I got to be honest, it is by far the most read publication that we produce, and that is the ERISA Connection. We do this once a quarter. It comes from our ERISA attorney. You met her yesterday, Karen Tall. She will be helping to discern all of the different legislative and regulatory updates that are happening. And we anticipate quite a few, right? There's at least 4 pieces of legislation right now in review that could become law, which would change or impact your retirement plan. And we want to make sure that you know ahead of time how that's going to change. Or what kind of impact you'll have. Earlier this week, we talked about long-term part-time employees. That was a big topic of 2022. How does that change? That's an ERISA connection. And then also, most recently, we talked about required minimum distributions, right? That's something that has also been changing with all the recent legislation. And there may even be more. So that is also something that can be emailed to you. If that's something that you'd like to get that you're not currently getting, use your phone and the camera there to select just take a picture of that QR code, and you'll be able to get signed up and get that email communication. We'll have an ERISA connection coming up in December to talk a little bit more about some of the things that we expect to happen. And actually, as we're going through all of the different ERISA questions that we've had from our team, we're putting together a Q&A from our standpoint to kind of talk about what are some of the things that we need to be watching. Again, to your benefit, we want to make sure that you know that we're watching those things and that we're here to help you be prepared and keep your plan in compliance. So that's published each quarter and then also emailed out to anyone who's on our mailing list. Next slide, please. online resources. I've talked a lot about those this week. Every time we've had a presentation, I've talked about different pieces that we've made available. We have a new piece on what is a 401k plan. It's a very basic kind of description. Also, key terms, any kind of key definitions, things that you want to know. We talked several times about the annual compliance and notice requirements. That's actually a handout that you can print out, put it on your bulletin board if you still have one in your home office or at the office. And even a piece on roles and responsibilities that kind of give you an indication about what Definiti is doing on your behalf. And not just Definiti, but if you add on the fiduciary services and have the fiduciary studio be your 316 administrator, then there's some services that they provide for you. And sometimes that's a helpful tool so that you can be aware of what we'll do for you and how we can help. So at that point, I think I'd like to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so I can show you some of these resources that I'm talking about and where you can find them. And I also wanted to give you indication about where you'll be able to find the videos, because I've had a lot of questions about that. Are these sessions being recorded? Yes, they're being recorded. And yes, we'll have them available to you next week. We will send you an email communication so that you'll know where those resources are when those are published. So the resources that I'm primarily talking about are right underneath the resource tab. You can go straight to our monthly insights and you'll see all of the recently published articles. There are quite a few here, including any specific ERISA connections. ERISA connections. But it's just a really good overview. Perhaps there's a particular topic that you want to learn more about, or you're talking to your RPC and the topic comes up. This is here for you to just kind of learn a little bit more and just help to get your questions answered. The other thing that I wanted to point out is that here's the tab specific for ERISA Connection, so you can go straight to that. Now, I've mentioned a little bit about advisors, and we do, in fact, spend quite a good amount of time and energy making sure that we're helping advisors with their book of business and helping them understand how they can help you more, either through your existing record keeper or perhaps through a new service offering. And we offer some services for them as well. So you can also find that information as well. Now, as far as the video content for the Retirement Academy, you can go straight to Resources Retirement Academy, and that will take you to a landing page for this particular session. And you'll be able to, when this whole series is over, this page will transform and you'll be able to go directly to this page to find all of the recordings for the sessions that have been recorded this year, every single one. Both plan sponsor and advisor. So hopefully it'll be really easy for you to find. We'll send you an email so that you can also find it there as well. But just know that it's right here under Resources Retirement Academy. That's where all of the videos will be posted. And those will be available all year. So you'll be able to go there at any time if perhaps you wanted a refresher or kind of listen again to Julie's presentation on field testing. How do I make sure I don't fail the testing again? Or perhaps you want to go back or you have someone new join your team who's going to help administer your plan. Then maybe they should go through the 401k 101 sessions just to understand a little bit more about what's required and about the plan. So, and we're always looking for new topics. So if there's this particular session that you think you'd be interested in, I'd love to hear more about that. So please be sure to go ahead and let me know. Let's go back into the slide deck because I do have a couple of quick updates that I wanted to show you there on the slides. Specific to yes, events. Oh my goodness, that's the other thing that Definiti creates for you. Now, I'm talking specifically about the Retirement Academy, which next year in 2023, we're actually going to break into 2 sessions. We acknowledge from the very beginning that that a week is a good amount of time to commit. And I'm really grateful. I've seen several people who've attended every single session, and I'm incredibly grateful that you've given your time and energy to be here. But I wanted to let you know next year we're going to do it a little differently. We're going to have a spring semester. Those sessions will be on May 16th and 17th, and a fall semester on November 7th and 8th. That's a Tuesday and Wednesday. So hopefully that'll help you plan a little bit more, according to your schedule. As I said, if you have new people who join your team who will help to administer or payroll or any of that kind of stuff, this would be a good opportunity for them to participate. So be watching for that. The other events that we put on would be relative to any kind of ERISA updates. Like most recently, we had an ERISA connection webinar specific to the interim amendments. Now, as we've talked about here, interim amendments and some of the things that the DOL and the IRS do, they have plans for it, and then they move their dates a little bit. So originally, we had a webinar to talk about the interim amendments and what was required even after restatements. And just as the time was that we were getting ready to do those, the IRS said, or the Department of Labor said, you know what? We're going to push off that requirement a little bit. So we've got a little bit of window, but we want to make sure that you know what's happening. What do you need to be considering for your plan? How is Definiti working to help you keep your plan in compliance? And some of that has to do with interim amendments or restatements or required things that are happening within your plan. So those are other events that we might put on, and we would let you know ahead of time via email that those things are happening. So just kind of wanted to go through those. Are there any other slides? I've forgotten. Let's look one more. Anything? Questions. So I will open it to any questions about what marketing creates for you before we get our panel ready. And those of you who are on the panel, I know some of you are there. I just wanted to kind of give you a heads up. I'll be calling on you in just a moment. See if there were any questions specific to what Definiti creates, or even kind of give you an opportunity to say, hey, this is something I would love to hear more about. Now would be a great time to do that. Let me also say that one of the things that we're thinking about for next year is, now that we're a little bit past COVID lockdowns, and Definiti is a national firm, one of the questions that I get is there any plan to do any in-person sessions? And to be quite honest, we find that this virtual scenario is a really great way for us to share information and disseminate it to a large number of people in a very quick way to do it. So probably more than likely, all of our future events will continue to be online. However, never say never. You never know if we might be in your neighborhood, and that would give us an opportunity. But for the most part, everything that we'll be doing will be virtual. Okay, so I don't see any other questions for me. So